Okay, so hello, welcome. Um, Tonight's Facebook Live, we're going to be talking about common questions that are asked from new notaries in the state of Maryland. So if you can comment your county so that I know where you're from, if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. And we'll go ahead and get started. If you have any other questions, please put them in the comments so that I can address them as we go along. Good evening. Welcome. So think of this as our virtual monthly networking event. So get comfortable. Let me know where you're checking in from. Post any questions you have. If you're newly commissioned or in the process of getting your commission, tonight is especially for you. Put how long you've been a notary in the comments. I have been a notary. I just started my second commission, so this is going into 6 years. Wow. Time really does go by fast once you get into it, figure out what you want to do, and you get started. The hardest part is getting started, but once you actually get started, you'll be fine. Welcome everybody. Just a couple more minutes, and I'll go ahead and introduce myself. Some of you I've had private conversations with. If you haven't met me, hello, my name is McCole Bob. I am the founder of Notary Training Network. I am based out of Baltimore, Maryland. Hopefully, with 2021, I know we are on the rise with COVID again, so I'm not sure what regulations will be going into the new year so that I can start having in-person events and start meeting some of you in person. But for now, this is what we have, so this is what we're going to work with. So I'm going to try to make it feel as homey or as comfortable as possible. Okay, so we have Annapolis, Frederick County, Charles County, PG County. Hello. Anne Arundel County, Howard County, Montgomery County, Upper Marlboro's PG County. Welcome. All right, so first and foremost, new notaries getting started in the state of Maryland, they looking for a trainer or a mentor. So I do offer training. I actually have a workshop coming up this Sunday. You can register on the website, www.notarytrainingnetwork.org. So if you want to learn the fundamentals of how what you can do as a notary, how to get started as a notary, if you want to feel confident to do your first notarization as a notary. So definitely you want to look for state-specific training. Maryland, we're our own special state. We do have specific rules and regulations that we need to follow in the state of Maryland. So if you're interested in training or if you're looking for a mentor, I can definitely help you. I do have a monthly training workshop, so definitely look out for that. And also some new events coming up with the new year. As far as training is concerned, it's not mandated in the state of Maryland currently. We did just have a law change on October 1st. So if you haven't read your new notary handbook, definitely make sure you look at the new notary handbook. If you don't have a copy of it emailed to you, you can go on the Secretary of State's website and you can download a copy of the new Notary Public Handbook on the website. If you have a previous version saved, you want to make sure that you have the current version. It does say October 2020 on the front of it. This is what it looks like. You can download it. You can print it out so that you have your own copy. So definitely want to make sure you look into that if you haven't already, because as it relates to notarial certificates, now every document, whether it's pre-printed or a handwritten letter that somebody wants you to notarize, it has to have a notarial certificate on there. You're getting commissioned in December. As far as the new journal, as far as the paper journal versus the app, it's really personal preference. I was using the regular paper journal before COVID. I stopped doing notarizations for a little bit, of course, once the pandemic was initially starting up. Then a couple months in, I went back to using the app, the electronic journal. I like it. It's convenient. Some people don't like the electronic journal. So really it's up to personal preference. They do have a free trial, I think, for Notary Act. I can't remember off the top of my head, but download it, try it. If you like it, use it. If you feel like it's not for you, the paper journal is perfectly fine. Just make sure, you take any necessary precautions to safeguard your journal, and, make sure you not spread. You don't want to spread anything. Make sure you safeguard yourself and safeguard your customers. So whether that's making sure that they use hand sanitizer before writing in your journal, if you want to make sure they have their own pens, if you want to give out pens, you decide what's comfortable for you. You are very welcome. Prince George's County, Baltimore. Okay. So as far as training, definitely make sure you get training, some type of training, whether it's from me, whether it's from the National Notary Association. Okay, so if anybody's looking for the electronic journal, Notary Act, that's what it's called. Act like you're acting. Notary Act, 2 words. It's available on Android and iPhone. I'm an Android, so I don't know what the Play Store for iPhones is called. Is it y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so if you want to download it, you want to play around with it, see if you like it, it is available for iPhone and Android users in the Play Store. Can the notarial certificate be on your stamp? You are able to get a stamp, or you can use a loose certificate and attach it to the document. The notary handbook does have the specific wording that you need to include on your notarial stamp. So you just want to make sure wherever you purchase it from, it abides by the guidelines that are set in the new notary handbook, so that you don't waste your money buying something that you can't use. Ideally, you only want to be adding a loose certificate or adding a stamp with wording for a certificate if it's not already on the document. If you have space on the document because the notarial certificate is already on there, you just have to figure out a way to make your stamp fit. You're welcome, because you really don't want to be adding a loose certificate if it's one already on the document. Now, some documents, if you haven't begun to do any notarizations as yet, some documents do have a very limited amount of space for you to put your notary stamp. So if you already have your stamp, or if you're in the process of getting your notary stamp, just make sure, you don't get something with a bunch of extra borders and, excuse me, you don't want to get something with borders on it. You don't want to get something with pictures on it. Just get what you need. Your name, your county that you got your commission in. It has to say State of Maryland. It has to say Notary Public. And now your stamp is required to have your commission expiration date. So if you don't have a stamp that has those 5 elements, your name, your commission expiration date, the county that you received your commission in, State of Maryland, and the words Notary Public, then you will need to get a new stamp, because that's part of the new law that just went into effect on October 1st. So those are the requirements that you need for your stamp. That's also in the logbook, in the new Notary Public handbook for the state of Maryland. The stamp requirements are in there as well. Speaking of training, so the part of the law that they left out for October 2020 is supposed to be going into effect October 1st, 2021, where it will require new applicants that are applying to get their notary commission, and also renewal applicants that are looking to renew their notary commission. The new law for October 1st, 2021 is going to mandate that you have some type of training or education, and you show proof of it, and also you pass an exam before you can either apply for or renew your notary commission. So if you're good, your commission expires prior to October 1st, 2021, then you don't have to get any education. If your notary commission expires after October 1st, 2021, unless they change the law between now and then again, you are going to be required to show proof of having some type of education and passing an exam before you're able to renew your notary application. Before you're able to renew your notary commission. So that's a big change that's coming. If you're looking for a mentor, whether you want a mentor for general notary work, or if you want a mentor, if you're interested in doing loan signings as a loan signing agent, you want to make sure you get somebody that's knowledgeable, somebody that's familiar with your area, somebody that knows what it is that you're trying to do, and they, find out what your goals and what your expectations are before you go into paying for whatever services you're paying for. Training a mentor is not a one size fits all. You need to find somebody that you vibe with, somebody that, can help you reach your goals. Everybody doesn't want to be a 6-figure signing agent. Everybody doesn't even want to do loan closings. So, find somebody that is doing what you want to do and find that person to either provide you with training or provide you with mentorship. Dual commission, number 2. What does that mean for Maryland notaries? Dual commission actually doesn't mean anything for Maryland notaries. The only thing that it is if you have your notary commission in more than one state. So let's say you live in Maryland and you work in DC or Virginia. Then if you have your Maryland notary commission and you also have a DC or a Virginia notary commission, then you would be considered dual commission because you have your commission in 2 states. DC, dual commission for them has a separate meaning because if you live and work in DC, that determines what type of commission you have. So if you live in DC, you have a residential commission. If you work in DC, you have a business commission. If you live and work in DC, then you would be considered dual commission because you'll have a residential commission and a business commission. I know a lot of notaries in Maryland may work in DC and they want to get their DC notary commission in order to do loan closings and stuff like that. I just want to, put it out there. If you get caught, you may possibly get your commission revoked because if you have your business commission for DC, you're only supposed to be using your notary commission to notarize documents while you're at work or for your job. You're not supposed to do anything outside of that to provide any services in the community or anything like that. So if you're in Maryland and you're thinking about getting a DC commission, or if you're in DC and you're thinking about getting a Maryland commission, just make sure you apply for the correct type of commission and you're using it properly so that you don't put yourself through the headache of losing your commission just because you're trying to make some money. Number 3, signing agent certification versus the typic license. So if you're in the state of Maryland and you want to be a notary signing agent, if you don't know, notary signing agents are the notaries that are trained to do real estate transactions. So if that's something that you want to do, you are required to get your typic license in the state of Maryland. What's a typic, you might ask? Typic stands for Title Insurance Producer Independent Contractor. Typic is the terminology that the industry uses to refer to the notaries because as a notary, you're not actually working with a title company or an escrow company. That's why you're considered a typic because you're an independent contractor. But it's actually called a Title Insurance Producer's License. It's the same training that you would have to do as a typic versus working for a company that prepares title documents. But the only difference is you're not working as an employee of that company and you don't hire other individuals to work under you. So you would be considered a title insurance producer, independent contractor, or typic for short. If you're going to make the investment to do any type of signing agent certification program, I strongly suggest getting your typic license first because you have to make an investment to get your typic license. The laws for that, well, the law didn't change so much. The course provider, the exam provider is what changed back on October 1st as well. So a lot of people have been saying that maybe the new test is more difficult. The material is different. Some of the course providers aren't necessarily providing material that they feel is allowing them to pass the exam. So if you want to go that route, if you haven't taken it as yet, make sure you do your research before you pick a course provider. Whatever course provider you decide to take, make sure if you have any questions before you pay for the course, you get those questions out the way, because I don't believe any of them are refundable. So you just want to make sure whatever course you decide to take is going to be beneficial for you and your learning style. If you haven't thought about taking the TIPIC exam or don't know anything about the TIPIC exam, there is a process in order to go through it to get your title producer's license. First, you have to do a 20-hour pre-licensing course. On the low end, you can do self-study, and that may cost you about $150 to $160, I believe. Sorry, hold on one second. That may cost you $150 to $160, I believe, on the low end for self-study. On the high end, you can pay between $600 and $700 to take a live in-person class. I think it's like 2 days, but of course with COVID right now, I don't believe anybody is doing any in-person classes. Everybody's doing the remote Zoom or self-study, whatever modules or platforms that they're using. So if you don't think you're going to be good doing self-study on your own to pass the exam, don't pay for a self-study course just because it's cheaper. Because after you pay for the self-study course, then you have to pay to take the actual exam. It's a 2-part exam. If you fail one part and you pass the other part, you still have to pay the full price to take that section of the exam over. It used to be $70 for the exam. I believe it may either still be the same price or maybe it's $10